Ladies and gentlemen, we're back like we never left.
Except we did leave. We left the car, and now we're on a couch. We've graduated.
We made it out the hood.
We made it out the hood with this one.
This one that we're recording right now. We front loaded everything into this pillow, and it's gonna skyrocket.
And on the note of success and confidence, today we're going to be talking about crippling inferiority.
It's funny because he's not joking.
No, yeah, I'm serious. We're going to talk about what I call, and I don't know if I came up with this phrase, but I just came up with this. I think I came up with it. I came up with it in my own mind, but it might have heard it from somewhere else. The equation of inadequacy, or Justin calls it more scientifically.
Yeah, I just call it negative confirmation bias.
So what is this? The way I look at it, and the reason I call it the equation of inadequacy is because I think of it as, when you're solving an equation, you solve for x, and you do everything you can. You do the same thing on both sides, and your mind and the goal is to make x fit in the equation. And so when we talk about this in the framing of inadequacy, a lot of us do this thing where we have negative core beliefs about ourselves, like I'm not worthy, or I'm not good enough, or other people are better. And when you have a negative belief like this, you do everything you can to try to find evidence in your reality to confirm that belief, even if it means absolutely distorting the actual facts to make it fit. And it's so counterproductive, and it doesn't help you with anything except it helps you maintain this sense of self based on a feeling of inadequacy. Yeah,
and like Sammy said before, I have a little more scientific approach, so I went ahead and wrote a definition instead of
fumbling through my
fumbling and freeballing through it. Yeah. So the definition that I gave for the equation of inadequacy is the way in which a person still finds negative confirmation bias about things they do on a daily basis, regardless of any type of external success.
That's good, because a lot of times you can discount your success and chalk it up to other things. Like, how much evidence of success do you have to have before that voice dies? I don't think there's actually an amount. You have to address the root cause, because otherwise you keep accumulating success and achievement and positive things, but it's so easy to just go, yeah, but that was because I was lucky. Oh, they thought I was good looking. Yeah, but that was like I was having a good hair day. Oh, that was only because she only liked me because I was famous. Or I'm sure that's like a really relatable one for all of you guys. But you know what I'm saying? And actually, the smarter you are, the easier it is to make these things fit, because you can be your own worst enemy. And if your own worst enemy is really intelligent, you can go, oh, well, the waiter took longer to get to our table. Well, that's probably because when we walked in, I didn't say hi to him and I said hi to the other guy. It's like, you can make these things fit, but it's not really a good thing to do this.
Yeah, the same way with this is I was talking to one of my friends last night, and he was speaking with his mom in Spanish. Well, his mom was speaking to him in Spanish, but he was responding in English. And I told him I always like that dynamic of two people speaking different languages to each other, but both of them know exactly what they're saying, but they're still speaking two languages. And I asked him why he does it, and he said, it usually makes people uncomfortable when I speak at a table in a different language, because they always assume, because they can't understand it, I'm talking about them.
Oh.
And I was like, oh yeah, that's definitely true. I was just trying to eavesdrop on the Spanish to help my Spanish, but it totally makes sense, because I've heard so many stories about girls going to get their nails done or getting a pedicure or whatever, and the ladies are speaking like a Japanese nail salon or something, they're speaking Japanese, and they're like, oh, like they probably think that this nail color is really ugly. Or maybe you go to a restaurant and they're speaking in Italian or something else, and maybe they glance your direction. It could just be, oh yeah, like this table ordered this, this, and this, but you think, oh, they ordered, Justin ordered that guy right there, he ordered 4 entrees, like he's probably built like a horse, like he's just gonna, he's this guy's a big fatso. No, they're just speaking.
Yeah, I remember growing up, we'd go to Colorado a lot, and we'd be on the chairlifts with a lot of families from Mexico and Argentina and South American countries, and they'd always be speaking Spanish. and I'd be sitting on the edge of the chair. It would just be me, and then you're in the singles line, so you hop on the chair with like random people, and they'd be going off really fast in Spanish, and I always assumed they were like, oh, we hate this guy. Why did he happen to get on our chair? Why is he bothering us? We hate Americans. I want to push him off the side. That was my guess. Well, some years later, I learned Spanish. Turned out they were just talking about what runs they were going to do, where they were going to eat afterwards. They were making fun of each other. But why do we cling to these ideas, and we want so badly to prove ourselves right in our inferiority? Like, we'd rather be right in our sense of inadequacy than wrong, but confident and self-assured.
Yeah, I think in that specific example, it kind of goes on the idea of like a denial of Sonder, how we believe that because we are so involved in our own lives, everything around us must also be in relation to our own lives. And because it's in a different language, it just feels like another barrier that you have to go over because you just can't understand it. So you assume when you hear a different language and you hear people speaking that, oh, they must be talking about me. That in your example, they must be talking about me. I can't understand them. They think that I should just fall off the chairlift and just go somewhere else and leave the resort forever. No, they're just talking about themselves. But we forget that every single person on this planet, all 8 billion, have their own unique and individual lives. But we have no way to really know this on a comprehensible level because we will only ever be in our own heads. So we forget that everyone else has just as complicated of a life as we do. But we're always only thinking about our own because that's the one that we are most permanent in.
We were talking about this the other day. This is another phrase that I like to think I made up, which is, even if you try to put yourself in someone else's shoes, you still have your own socks on. Meaning, I can try to guess what Justin's thinking. I can try to guess what that girl I like is thinking. But I'm guessing what she's thinking from my own perspective. You can't ever get completely objective from yourself because the one who's looking at that interpretation is still an interpretation that's conditioned by your own past. So you still have your socks on even if you try it on someone else's shoes. And that's where it gets tricky because you're always seeing things colored through the lens of your own past experiences, which when you had something when you were younger, when maybe someone didn't treat you super well or you were bullied. And I think everybody was bullied to some degree when they were growing up or felt inadequate in some way. And actually, I was reading a book, I think it was Useful Not True by Derek Sivers. And he mentioned how when you get older and you start talking to people and everyone has the same story of feeling like they were not one of the cool kids, feeling like they didn't fit in, feeling like they were bullied. And you go, wait a second. If everybody had that story, who were the cool kids? And you realize it was all just a narrative. There weren't any objective cool kids because the cool kids actually were insecure in their own way. And then 10 years later, they actually feel comfortable saying they didn't feel like a cool kid. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but I feel like there were still cool kids. I can pinpoint a few from my upbringing that I feel like just fit that mold to a T.
Would you still call them cool kids now?
I have no idea what's going on in any of their lives.
Right, so you can't speak on it. But the point being, we have these narratives and stories that aren't necessarily true, but they feel true to us. And because they feel true to us and we root our identity in it, we look for evidence to confirm this, no matter how painful it might be, because we'd rather cling to a familiar pain than feel the pleasure of, we'd rather cling to a familiar pain than feel the discomfort of growth.
Yeah, everybody's vanilla until they realize how masochistic their thought patterns are.
We're just beating ourselves up, bro.
Mm-hmm.
Nonstop.
And the worst part is we like it. Like, bro, stop. Stop it. There's much more pleasurable things out there. Have you ever gone outside and taken a big breath of fresh air in the morning? That's much better than telling yourself, man, I'm really fat in the mirror today. Man, I drank too much water and now I need to lose weight. Man, my hair is, there's one curl in my hair that's not doing it what I want to. That's why I got rejected 6 years ago when my hair was straight.
But
No.
your brain will twist it, and you'll make it fit. You'll do everything you can to make it fit.
Mm-hmm.
And the mind is just crazy in that regard. Sam Harris talks about how if the things your mind said to you were externalized as another person, you would not tolerate that person for more than a minute. That person would come into your house, be yelling at you nonstop. You should text that person. No, you should call. No, you should probably get up. Oh, have you done your work yet? Oh, no, you probably need to get some sleep tonight. You'd be like, shut up. But because it's in your own mind, you're so used to it. There's no distance, and you think it's you. And so I think a big important thing is just disidentifying from the thoughts and stepping back and watching them as if it was an objective person, and going, okay, wait, this is that pattern happening again.
Yeah, I think if that person was animated into or those thought patterns in my head were animated into a person, 99% of the time it would just be like a walking stereo.
What do you mean?
Like, as we're having this conversation, I have the Big Time Rush song we were talking about before the episode going through my head.
You always have music going?
Yeah, so he would just be standing in the corner and singing out loud of this any kind of guy you want, girl, that's the guy I'll be. Shout out Big Time Rush, by the way.
Love them.
Incredible.
Okay, so I want to talk about some examples, personal examples, to kind of drill this point home. I told this story on a podcast that I was a guest on the other week, but I never told it on our podcast, I don't think. So I'm going to do it now. Once upon a time, I think this was a couple years ago, I was walking on the beach. And I'm walking one way, this beautiful girl's walking the other way. And I like to smile at people, especially if they have 2 X chromosomes and are beautiful. But I like to smile at everyone. And I smiled at her, and it was my lucky day. She smiled back at me. And then I keep walking and have the thought in my head, why did I just let that girl walk the other direction and not say a word? And so I turned around in the most nonchalant, not creepy way ever, and I followed her for the next 6 miles. Just kidding. It was like a couple feet. Kind of caught up with her, and I was like, oh, hey, like, I like your outfit, or some sort of riz.
You gotta run at them to show assertion. You gotta to show conviction. That's your intention.
Fear and arousal are the same emotion. Science proves it. Anyways, ran up to her, was whatever, said hey. And we walked for a little bit, good conversation, good vibes. And then it got to the point where I had to turn. It was my street. So I was like, hey, great to meet you. You got Instagram or some form of communication for way to me to contact you? That's exactly how I said it. And she was like, oh, I forgot my Instagram. I'm like, bro, what beautiful girl aged 18 to 25 forgets their Instagram? It's like your entire life. It's my life too. It's just, it is also my life. But I immediately took that as like, okay, this girl hates me. And then I'm like, oh, do you want to like check your phone and see? And then she goes, oh, I don't have my phone. And now I'm like, red flag, red flag. She's just lying right to my face. Then she goes, I'll give you my number though. I'm like, oh, okay, I'll take the number. And then I was like, so what are you doing now? She's like, oh, I'm going to walk a little more and then probably Uber home. I'm like, okay, have a good night. And then I start walking home. And then I get back and I tell my brother Justin and I tell my dad about the story. And they look at me and they go, Sammy, you idiot. She said she was going to Uber home, but she doesn't have her phone. So any hope I had about her giving me the number and all that, I was like, she probably gave me, and I looked down and the number's like 911. Like, no, no, she did give me her actual number, but I interpreted the whole thing as she has no interest. She's lying to me because she doesn't want to hurt my feelings or whatever it is. And I kind of gave up. Anyways, we texted a little bit. She did end up giving me her Instagram over text, but I kind of forgot about her. And I never really pursued her because I didn't think she was interested. I didn't think she cared. Maybe I would have tried harder had I believed she actually was invested in some way. A year goes by or so. We're texting randomly again, and she goes, hey, I just wanted to let you know that you really helped me that day. And I'm like, helped you? What? How? In what way? She said, oh, well, when I was there walking on the beach, the only reason I was walking was because my ex-boyfriend kicked me out of the car because he was abusive. And when I met you, you showed me that there were other good quality guys out there and that I shouldn't stay with him. So I actually decided, based on that interaction, I decided not to stay with him and to get out of that abusive relationship. And I'm like, and it all comes together for me. I'm like, oh, she didn't want to give me the Instagram because she didn't want me to see the boyfriend. And then she was caught in a lie, and she couldn't say she forgot her Instagram and then couldn't look at it because she didn't have her phone. It was all coming together. Meanwhile, I was here thinking it was because of some flaw that I had that I was unaware of. It was the complete opposite.
He actually had a pimple on his right cheek.
This whole story was my mind's justification to make myself feel better. No, but that's what you think about. You're like, was my hair off? Did I look weird that day? Should I have shaved? Like, all these things. Not the case at all. It was a complete fabrication of my mind, and the truth was that she was very interested. So interested, in fact, that she left her boyfriend. And so I think that story is relevant and can be inspiring for any of you guys that have ever been in a situation where you face rejection like that and you take it personally. It's not usually personal.
Yeah, there's usually some type of external circumstance that we don't really think about because there's the subconscious Sonder denial of, oh, this person also has this entire unique life that has a bunch of different experiences in it.
Right.
And maybe this doesn't actually have to do with me.
Right. It's another cognitive distortion called mind reading, which is kind of what I was saying about having your socks on when you're putting yourself in other people's shoes, which is what? You reading my mind?
I was trying.
Which is the idea is, okay, I'm walking on the beach right now and I just had a great day making songs. She probably had a similar experience today. You think because you have a certain experience, you project that onto others when it's completely inaccurate.
Yeah, definitely.
What about you? Do you have any examples from your life?
No. I've never dealt with this problem before.
You never felt inadequate in any way, shape, or form?
No.
All right.
See you guys next week.
Well, I have another 300, so let's...
Yeah, so I actually have an example from a little over a month ago. I met this girl and we started talking in person. I felt like we hit it off, and all I got was her name. Ended up spending the next 6 hours searching for her Instagram, and then found it, got the follow back.
Why was it so hard to find?
It wasn't actually that hard.
Okay.
It's because she spelled her name wrong.
Oh.
Yeah.
I hate it when they try to be original like that.
Yeah, so I ended up finding it, followed, got the follow back, and then a few weeks later I DM'd her and I was like, "Hey, you should come to this event with me. Like, I want you to be my date." And I was relatively bold throughout the entire thing. Like, I never said, "Hey, like, will you go out with me?" Like, "Hey, do you want to hang out?" I literally just said, "There's this thing that I'm going to. I want you to be my date," which is, it's very straightforward.
Hey, maybe do you think there's any chance? It's okay if not, but I was just wondering. But like, not like a date, but maybe it could be a date if you want it to be. But like, I'm not really. But like, if you, please,
just and feel free to let me know whenever you want. Like, it could be within the next 3 minutes, or maybe when you see this, or if you need like 3 to 6 business years, that's okay too. Because I know like everyone has these own really complete and unique lives, and I know you have a lot going on. Like, you're a really pretty girl. I'm sure there's so many guys texting you that like I'm sure you won't even see this, but maybe in the slight chance that the stars align and the universal strings pull us together, like I know fate really wants to do, then you could at least respond.
That was so beautiful. In case you guys needed relationship advice, I would send that exact message anytime if you need a Tinder or Hinge opening line.
I have that one memorized because that's the one that works the most.
The second one is, "You up?"
Hey, little bro.
All right, continue.
Yeah. So I sent that, and then it's definitely on the bolder side, and I sent this at maybe 6 or 7 p.m. on, it was like a Tuesday, and no response through that night. And I'm like, it went to sleep or something, like whatever. And throughout the entire next day, just nothing. And at this point, I'm like, she's probably not interested. like, oh well. And then it hits the 24-hour mark, and I'm like, okay, she's definitely probably seen it, because I'm very likely the only weird one that has all notifications off, because I forget that when you have notifications on, someone can just see the message without the scene popping up on the DMs. I forget that's just a thing.
That's another mind reading thing. Like I never see DMs because my notifications are off, and so are yours.
Yeah.
So you think other people don't see them either, but other people get them like they get texts.
Exactly. It just pops right up on the screen. So they get that information, they can process me. It's just like, it's boom, it's right there. That scene notification goes on, and I feel the pressure of the world on Atlas's shoulders to respond right in that moment before my screen time hits 0. Anyways, I was like, okay, it's been a day. I was a little bold. She probably just doesn't want to. Like, oh well. And then ran out of screen time. I was like, you know what? Like, whatever. Like, I'll just find someone else to go to, or I'll go stag, whatever. And then I'm speaking with one of my teammates at practice, because he knows the girl and is friends with a lot of girls. And I'm like, hey, like, I heard you're well acquainted in this circle of women. And he was like, yeah, I definitely am. I'm friends with a lot of them, especially Jane Doe, which is the one that I asked out. I'm like, oh, that's pretty cool. And I'm like biting my tongue so hard not to be like, can you talk to her? Like, what is she thinking about? Like, what's going on? Uh-huh. I'm biting my tongue because I can tell that he kind of wants to talk about it. I'm like biting my tongue. I'm still just doing my workout because we're at practice. And he is like, so she's like, did she say yes? And I'm like, oh, to what? And she's like, he's like, to the date thing. And I'm like, oh no, she hasn't responded yet. And he's like, oh my gosh. Like, I told her to say yes, like, or way earlier today. And I'm like, oh no, she hasn't said anything yet. And he's like, I'm gonna kill her if she doesn't say yes. Like, this thing looks so cool. And I'm like, well, gotta tell her that, because I just figured she wasn't interested. And he's like, oh no, like, she didn't really know what your vibe was. She was checking with me and a few other people because she just wanted to make sure that you weren't a serial killer and all, and everything like that. I'm like, oh, that makes sense. Fast forward a little bit, she ends up saying yes, and we hit it off, and it was a great time. Like, it was a really, really fun event. And then I'm kind of talking to her about it, and she was like, no, like, I was never disinterested. I just really had to think about it, because it's not every day that someone approaches me and just asks me out very bluntly like that. So I just needed a second to kind of do a CIA, FBI background check on you with everyone you know and love to make sure that you are who you say you are, even though you really didn't say that much about yourself.
Well, it's because your Instagram looks like a bot because it's so perfect.
Yeah, that also. There's also that. Shout out. And things ended up going well because she just needed to, think about things. And here I am thinking, oh, she's probably not interested. Oh, well, whatever. I'll just let bygones be bygones. And then she ended up saying yes, and it was a great time. So there's just this, we create this notion that, oh, if someone doesn't respond within X amount of time, it's definitely because of something we did. She barely even knew anything about me, so of course it couldn't have been anything like that.
But you somehow think that she can see some sort of fatal flaw within you that you've never noticed, and that other people know something about you that you don't, and you base your entire self-perception on what you are just assuming other people think about you when they're not thinking about you.
Exactly. And I'm really happy you used those words, because a lot of people think that somehow in the 30 minutes they've known someone, maybe they're not responding now because they see this fatal flaw within you. And you have to remind myself on a daily basis, I don't have a fatal flaw.
I have to remind myself, I'm perfect.
I'm perfect. So whatever they think they see, maybe they're looking in a mirror, because I know it's not me.
So basically, if there's ever an issue in your life, you're never the problem.
Mm-hmm.
No, this can get down a slippery slope of denying responsibility, and that's not what we're saying at all.
No. I definitely have my fair share. Like, please understand that was 100% satire.
Right. But I think most of us are too far on the spectrum of overthinking ourselves and assuming that we're the problem, and then we could go a little further onto the side of, hey, maybe it's not about me. At least I can speak for myself and say that, and I think you're the same way.
Yeah, I can speak for myself.
I think if you're a person that likes to think of yourself as self-aware, and you like to better yourself, you tend to be in the weeds in your mind a lot, and that can lead to something that I've been working on. Is I noticed I was kind of using other people as a little validation machine, and sometimes you got to ask yourself, do I really like this person, or are they just validating a certain self-image within me? And I have a song called Attention. I'm addicted to attention. It's true, but the reason that I had that addiction, I'm working through it. I'm seeing some support groups for my attention addiction. But please feed it by liking and commenting and subscribing
on this podcast that we're recording for more attention.
For more attention. This is like an Alcoholics Anonymous meeting happening at the bar.
Yeah. I was gonna say the irony rooted in saying that you're working on your attention problem while posting something for more attention is incredible.
Yeah,
I love it.
But what I'm trying to say is, this is a revelation I had, which was other people. Let's say other people say good things about you, and then you think, okay, other people are saying good things about me. That means that my self-image comes from the things that they've said. But then they say something bad about you, and then you go, oh shoot, does that mean my self-image is now tarnished because of the bad thing they said? Here's the distinction. Your self-image never actually came from the good things or the bad things, but they were reflecting things that existed within you. When they said something good, they were reflecting a positive attribute that you already have. You already have that positive attribute, and some people notice it, some people don't. Somebody saying something negative, more often than not, has to do with them, and somebody saying something positive is just them reflecting back to you who you already are. But so just try not to outsource your sense of worth, and maybe base it on things that you are in more control of, if that makes sense.
Yeah, and a lot of these problems come from subconscious negative thought patterns. So if you can nip it at the bud and really choose what you think about, you can completely get rid of any type of negative confirmation bias and just switch it out with full positive confirmation bias. Like the amount of times going through middle school and high school, I would get a grade on a test, or someone else would get a grade on a test, and it could be like get a 96% on the test, and people choose to focus on the 4% and look at that 4% as some type of deep-rooted inadequacy within them because they weren't able to get 100% of everything. Bro, you got 96% of this material spot on, 100% correct, and yet you choose to focus on the very, very small minority of what you were unable to do. Like you can pick and choose your battle, and with neuroplasticity on your side, you can completely change the way that you think.
Yeah.
So there's absolutely no downside to focusing on the good instead of focusing on things that will just kind of keep you in the dumps.
Yeah, and one practical thing that Justin and I both like to do for this is journaling. So at the end of the day, I will go through, at the end of the day, I'll ask myself, what went well today? And then I'll list all the things that went well, whether that was like a great conversation I had with somebody or just all the wins. And then you can also ask, what could I have done better? So you're going to be honest. You're not just going to only focus on the positive. Still constructively criticize yourself, but the key word being constructive, not just absolutely reprimand and obliterate yourself. Because if you really look at your thoughts, most of them that you think are maybe helping you are not helping you. They're actually harming you. So if you can be intentional at the end of the day, give yourself a little bit of an audit, talk about what went well. And also a fun exercise can be, if something happens and you take it personally, write down 10 other reasons that could be explanations. Girl didn't respond. First instinct, I suck and she hates me. Okay, wait, hold on. People say always trust your first instinct. Not necessarily always the right advice, because the first instinct can kind of be your conditioned, younger, traumatized voice a lot of the time. So you hear that voice, and then you go, okay, wait, what else could it be? And you go, okay, she was in the shower. Oh, well, it's been 3 years, so probably not that. Okay, her phone died. Okay, a lot of different options.
Yeah, a good idea that pairs with this is the idea of Occam's razor, which states that the most simple reason for something is very likely the one that's true. Like oh, I can't find my phone. It must be in this crack and crevice of the couch in the corner that I've never sat on for a million years because, it could be there. Like, no, did you check if it was plugged in? Check on your desk or something like that. It's very likely that it's a really simple outcome, but sometimes we choose to overcomplicate things for the sheer sake of it potentially being a possibility.
Yeah, so long story short, we have a weird desire and urge to maintain faith in our negative interpretation of ourselves. We're so connected to this idea that if we have some sort of core belief about our own inadequacy or inferiority, we want to find evidence for it. And when I say we want to, it's not necessarily that we consciously want to, but our subconscious seeks to confirm our ideas of the world. And if our ideas of the world were founded on a feeling of inadequacy, we're going to look to confirm that. But if you can break through the code, notice the pattern, you can actually rewire your brain and become the person that you know you're destined to be.
Said it beautifully.
All right. Thank you guys for listening. If you have any questions about this kind of stuff, feel free to message us on Instagram or leave a comment here. And have a beautiful day. Remember, you're perfect, you have no flaws, and it's probably someone else's fault.
Peace.